Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for December 24th, 2012. Merry Christmas to everyone out there. We'll take a look at the forecast and see if Santa Claus is going to have any problems with delivering gifts over the next 24 hours. I don't think it will be all that bad out there. Currently, right now, temperatures are ranging from the lower to mid 20s over much of the interior, upper 20s to lower 30s along the immediate coast. For the most part, we're dealing with average temperatures, certainly cold out there, much colder than what we've been dealing with. As you can see, the winds have been light and variable for the most part, with some increasing clouds to our south and west. We have an area low pressure is approaching the region that will bring us a threat for some snow showers. Now, taking a look at the radar, you can see the snow showers, you can see the showers developing over the Tennessee River Valley and over portions of the southeast. These showers will expand in coverage and enter much of Pennsylvania, eventually New Jersey and New York City late tonight. Now, let me put it this way. This is not a major event, but considering it's Christmas Eve and we're dealing with Santa Claus and the threat for a few snow showers, it does perk up the interest in the potential for these snow showers. This is not in any way a major storm, but could bring some light accumulation to portions of the interior, especially around interior Connecticut, the Hudson River Valley, northwest New Jersey, northeastern Pennsylvania, even portions of southern Pennsylvania away from the immediate coast and around Philadelphia. Along the coast, let's say around coastal Connecticut, Long Island, New York City, much of central and southern New Jersey, and the Philadelphia metro, I do think snow is in the air. Whether it accumulates, I pretty much doubt it because temperatures are going to be slightly above freezing when the snowfall moves through. I'm looking at a very wet snowfall here, and one in which it'll be snow in the air, but it'll be hard to accumulate on the ground, perhaps on some cold surfaces like your car top or on the grass, but really not much in the way of any significant precipitation as far as accumulation is concerned. One thing I am noticing though is that the low pressure system track, and we'll see this in the water vapor and the infrared satellite loop in just a minute, is a little bit further south than what the model guides is suggesting, which makes me a bit suspicious of this idea of it changing completely over to rain. Maybe we see a little bit of rain-snow mix along the immediate coast, but I do think that snow is in the air. Taking a look at the infrared satellite picture, here's our low pressure system developing here. Now, this is slightly further south than what was forecasted. It was supposed to be in the Ohio River Valley. And that's important because the further north this low pressure system gets, the further north this cold front or stationary front relifts back to the north. And that's what's going to warm us up tomorrow morning into the upper 30s to lower 40s along the immediate coast after falling into the mid 30s. However, if this stationary front really doesn't get all that far north, and we're starting to see that in some of the model guidance, then we stay a bit cooler. We're talking about mid-30s rather than upper 30s, and that would support the potential for perhaps a trace to a dusting of snow even along the coast if this low pressure system continues to track further south than what's being progged in the models. So certainly something to keep an eye on over the next 12 hours or so. For the most part, though, again, this is a minor event. Santa Claus will not be impacted by this evolving little disturbance here. It is something, though, to keep an eye on because this disturbance will influence the track of our next storm, which also could bring some mischief to much of the northern mid-Atlantic moving forward by Wednesday evening into Thursday. Taking a look at the water vapor satellite picture, as you can see, we're dealing with a very energetic weather pattern here. We have one block starting to develop over the Canadian Maritimes for our upper level low. Here's our next disturbance, and again, this is moving under this block. So I really don't expect it to move much further north than where we are now. And I expect to track through the Pennsylvania and West Virginia state line towards the Maryland state line and then off the southern New Jersey coast, which will again bring us some rain and snow showers, mostly snow showers, perhaps a few rain and snow shower mix along the immediate coast. Going to keep an eye on that. Then our next disturbance, this disturbance right here will bring a powerful storm to the northern mid-Atlantic and much of the east coast and northeast really, Wednesday evening into Thursday. Now right now I'm expecting rain along the immediate coast, but just away from the coast there is a potential for a significant ice threat we're going to keep an eye on, especially if you are to the northwest of I-95. some of that cold air could get trapped and could lead to a little bit longer freezing rain threat than what's currently being forecasted, and something that we really need to watch, especially if you're in northeastern Pennsylvania, northwestern New Jersey, the Hudson River Valley, and of course interior Connecticut. There are some signs here that would make me a bit concerned, especially with the track more along the immediate coastal plain rather than over the interior, as what was earlier shown in the model guidance, which I basically discounted and said it was a ridiculous solution. And it looks like that is going to be the case. But if you're in the interior, watch out for snow and ice on Wednesday night into Thursday. But along the coast, it looks like it could start off as a little bit of snow, quickly change over to rain thanks to an east wind. And then that rain could end as snow as the storm departs, but really no significant accumulation is expected, or any accumulation for that matter. And then we have another disturbance on the way, and this disturbance, this storm right here, could be a major problem for the northern mid-Atlantic, yes, even the coast, by next weekend. So we're dealing with a very active and interesting weather pattern, that is for sure. Taking a look at the latest model guidance, here we are for this evening. Here's our disturbance moving through. Again, notice the 850 millibar line here, the freezing line here, is south of New Jersey. So that tells me that there's potential for snow in the air. Okay, not necessarily accumulation, but certainly snow in the air. It's going to be cold enough for snow in the air, especially at midnight and at 1 a.m. So as the low pressure system tracks to the east, the further north it gets, the better potential for warm air to invade at the surface. The further south it goes, well, this high pressure system will keep us nice and chilly. So the further south that this low pressure tracks, if it does not move into central Pennsylvania and then redevelop along the coast, then that means that even the coastal plain will see a little bit better potential for some snow in the air, and maybe even a minor accumulation of a dusting at most. Again, not a major storm here, just creates a nice scene. Moving forward through Christmas evening, our low pressure system rapidly exits out into the Atlantic. That could enhance this upper level low here, and that's what brings us to this storm here that develops over the southern plains. Now, this storm is going to track along the coast and not off of the coast, and the reason why is because of the interaction of this disturbance right here over central Canada. This disturbance acts kind of like a slingshot, okay? It pulls this back just enough west to keep the coastal plain warm enough for rain. So you can see that here, negatively tilted trough. The best lifting is right along the coastal plain and not off of the coastal plain, so that means our low pressure system tracks from central Virginia towards New Jersey. Now, the thing to keep an eye on are the temperatures over northeastern Pennsylvania, northwestern New Jersey, and Connecticut. I think the coast goes over to rain here, but I think that the interior locations on Wednesday night into Thursday morning are at a significant threat for ice. And the reason why is I'm concerned about this high pressure system and the indication of what's called cold air damming along the coast and over the locations just north and west of the major cities. So we're going to have to keep a real important eye on that. And we really can't get into the details of this storm and with the precipitation type and how long each precipitation type will last until roughly, I'd say, maybe Tuesday night, maybe tomorrow night. It really depends on the interaction of these two disturbances and exactly how strong this high pressure system is to keep the cold air locked in. So we're going to have to keep a real eye on this because it could be a significant threat for interior locations for some significant icing. That storm's going to lift north and east, and notice that it's not over the interior, it's off of the New England coast, or basically right over Nantucket. And this is really important to point out here, that earlier models were trying to take this storm over, let's say, the St. Lawrence River Valley, and that just was not going to happen. This low pressure system is basically tracking from Virginia over New Jersey and then towards the New England coastal waters, okay? And what that's going to lead is cold air remaining locked in over the interior, and that means the threat for snow, ice, maybe a little bit of rain, but I think it stays frozen for most of the forecast period over portions of northern Connecticut, the Hudson River Valley, especially around Poughkeepsie, perhaps even northwestern New Jersey, and also northeastern Pennsylvania. So it looks like a very interesting, potentially dangerous storm for the interior with ice. So something that definitely we're going to keep a watch. It's a bit concerning to me, I'll tell you that much. Moving forward, cold air rockets in and basically establishes itself even over the coastal plain. And here we have our next disturbance developing over the southern plains. So you're starting to pick up a trend here. Cold air is trying to get in. We're seeing these disturbances with the subtropical jet interacting with that cold air. And each storm tracks a little bit further east with each pass. So here we are by this upcoming weekend. Here we are Saturday night. Low pressure system now developing off of the Virginia and North Carolina coast. We have clear signature of cold air damming. You see this little kink right here. Cold air is building in. Cold air is pushing in along the coast. Along the immediate coast, we might be dealing with a rain-snow mix, changing over to snow as this low pressure system tracks towards the New England coastal waters. So basically it tracks from the Delmarva Peninsula towards the New England coastal waters right off of the coast. That's going to keep cold air in place over much of the coastal plain and could lead to some significant snowfall just away from the coast and along the coast, a wintry mix and a mess. That could also lead to some accumulating snow as well. So something that we're going to keep an eye on, again, just in time for the end of the new year. So it's certainly a very interesting weather pattern is taking shape. And if you want to take a look at the extended, take a look at this weather pattern starting to evolve over the next 10 days. A deep trough in the east, a ridge in the west. Keep an eye on this upper level low. It's important. I discussed this in the long range weather forecast discussion for premium members. This upper level low is a very, very important signature and very important signal for the weather pattern as a whole over North America. And here's our polar vortex starting to drop south and east towards central and southern Canada. And as you can see, the result is some pretty nasty Arctic air invading the northern mid-Atlantic, if not much of the eastern United States. So, certainly winter is on the way, and on the way in a big way over the next couple of days. That's your forecast for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. You can follow the latest weather information, and I'll be keeping an eye on that little disturbance moving through tonight via Twitter and Facebook at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter and Facebook. Have a wonderful day. Have a Merry Christmas. I'll see you again on Wednesday.